Hey guys, welcome to Tech House. My name is Ismail. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to move the DHCP scope from the ASA firewall to the DHCP server for the VPN client. Um, we will create the DHCP scope on the DHCP server, configure the DHCP server IP and DHCP scope on the ASA firewall, and then test it from the VPN client to see if the VPN clients obtain IP address from the DHCP server. So in previous video I have configured the VPN profile on the ASA firewall, and then the DHCP scope is configured on the ASA. So let me connect to the VPN. So that the DHCP scope for the VPN client is 192.168.1.0/24. The username is Cisco, the password is Cisco123. So it's connected to the VPN. Let me show you the IP address. This is the IP address 192.168.1.1. So let's move the DHCP scope from the ASA to the DHCP server. This one is the DHCP server. Let me open it. So from tools, I'm gonna go configure the DHCP server, the DHCP scope. There is one scope already configured, 10.0.0, which is the data VLAN, VLAN 10. I'm gonna configure another DHCP scope. Create a new scope. You can name any name that you want. I'm gonna name it VPN client. Click next. Start IP 192.168.1.1, 192.168.254. Next. If you want to exclude any IP address or range of IP address, you can do that here. 192.161.1. I'm going to exclude 192.168.1.10. I'm going to exclude from 1 to 10. We do not need, but in case if you want. Click next, next, and next. This is the gateway IP address 2.168.1.1. Add next. So here is your domain. If you want, I put it the Google DNS IP address. So the WEMS, we do not need this one. Click next, and then finished. So this is the scope that we have created. Click refresh. So yeah, we have two DHCP scope, 192.168.1.0, which is for the VPN client, and then 10.0.0.0, which is for VLAN 10. So DHCP scope is created. So now I'm going to go to the firewall, configure the DHCP on the firewall. The IP for the firewall is 172.168.1.254. Username is admin, password admin. We are on step 2, configure DHCP server IP and DHCP scope on the ASA firewall. So once you log into the firewall, go to the configurations, remote access VPN, and then VPN clients, any connection profile. Go to the VPN profile, mine is AnyConnect, click on edit. So here is the client address pool. So I'm gonna remove this one. You can delete it or you can just remove from here. Click OK. And then DHCP server, here we are putting the IP address of the DHCP server, which is 10.0.20.100, 10.0.20.100, that our DHCP server IP address. And then go to manage, edit the profile, click on server, click on more option, and then here is the DHCP scope. So uncheck the inherit with the DHCP scope should not inherit from the default policy or the profile policy. Uncheck and then type here the DHCP scope, which is 192.168.1.0, and then that should be it. Click OK, and then click OK, OK, and then apply. So once it's applied, so now on the second step we can go test from the VPN client. So here is the VPN client. Open the Cisco AnyConnect application, type the IP address of your firewall, and then click connect. Connect Cisco 123. Okay, it's connected. I'm gonna go see the IP address, IP config. So here is the IP 192.168.1.11, which is this IP the VPN clients obtained from the DHCP server. So let's go check on the DHCP server. So if you come to DHCP server, click on the scope, and then click on address, please. You see the 192.168.1.11, which is our VPN client. So just only these 3 steps. So we configured, we tested. On the core switch, like we do not need to create a VLAN for the VPN client. We do not need to configure IP helper IP address on the VLANs. So there is no need to configure IP helper on the layer 3 interface, on this interface which is connected to the firewall for this purpose. But if you want to configure the DHCP scope for the local clients, you need to configure the IP helper address on the SVI interface. So let me show you this. Let me go to core switch. if you interface show IP interface brief VLAN 20 show running interface VLAN 20. So you see I did not configure any IP helper address on any VLAN. So we have a DHCP client here. Yeah, let me go. This one is, so I'm gonna close this one. So this is the local client connected to VLAN 20. So let me go see if this one is getting any IP address from the DHCP server. So I have assigned manually. I'm gonna go to on DHCP, click OK. So here you see it's not grabbing IP address from the DHCP because we did not configure IP helper address on the SVI. But once I configure, let me go ahead configure the IP helper address. Config T interface VLAN 10. IP helper address 10.0.20.100. Once I configure the IP helper address on the SVI interface, the client will obtain an IP address. You see it's getting the IP address of 10.0.0.11 from the DHCP. So if you want to configure DHCP server for the local clients, you need to configure an IP helper address on the SVI interface. But for the remote VPN or for the VPN client, you do not need to create any VLAN or IP helper address. You do not need this. Just only create the DHCP scope on DHCP server and then configure the DHCP IP and DHCP scope on the firewall. Thank you.